So I'm a little embarrassed to do this video, but I'm going to do it anyway because it's been a learning experience for me, and maybe it'll show you guys something too. So I had an employee who's no longer here, and staffing is a serious issue. I recently heard hire slow, fire fast, and I wasn't firing fast enough. This individual's gone, but he wreaked a lot of havoc while he was here. But it's my fault, it's my responsibility. So I saw him installing the mini split. First of all, it wasn't level, and this is our mini split bracket that hangs right here for the indoor unit. So that got redone. So now this individual is gone. I opened the valves for the mini split this weekend and was not getting the compressor to kick on. So it wasn't throwing a low Freon code, so I could not figure out what was going on because I figured, hey, if our lines are leaking, it's gonna throw a low Freon code, but it wasn't. So finally today I said, screw it, let's just tear it apart. So I disconnect the lines on the outdoor unit and no Freon came out. So then I knew we had a leak, and I was praying that the leak was at one of the fittings that they weren't tight. Well, I get in, I take the indoor unit off the wall, I get in here and I can feel oil on this line. I witnessed this employee yanking on these copper lines, and you have to be very gentle with these lines. These lines go into the wall and are hidden. There's no replacing these lines if they're punctured in here. So if you're doing electrical or whatever else here, you need to know where your lines are and do not put any screws in there that might jeopardize your lines. So I saw this employee yanking on these lines and all that, and I get in here today and I found this. So of course I leaked all my Freon out immediately. These lines had foam over them, but when we disconnected the indoor unit, I could feel this line was loose. And this person had put duct tape around this. So I think he was aware of what had happened. Here's our drain line. So I am looking for suggestions. We can cut more of this structure out here, this framing. But we need to be able to fit a flare tool in here and extend this line out. And I've got the line, I don't have a flare tool. I might just call an HVAC guy. But you cannot jerk around on these copper lines for mini splits at all. You've got to be very careful with them. You've got to make your bends very gently. This is probably the most difficult part about a mini split install, is getting it mounted in here, because you got to have one guy kind of holding the mini split up, or a step ladder, and then you connect your lines and all that. But you've got to get everything tucked, and like I said, something like this can happen. So these lines are hidden in the wall. So I think we're going to be able to fit a flare tool in here and get this re-flared and extend this line out to where it's supposed to be. But this is an absolute nightmare. So lesson learned on my part, we will get this fixed the right way. And when you install these mini splits, you really don't have to, but they recommend using an HVAC pump, hooking up to your exterior valve here, and doing a leak check. Had I done that, I would have discovered the leak immediately, but I've installed a bunch of mini splits and never had a leak. So it turns into an efficiency thing and always checking for leaks versus the 1 out of 20 times that you find a leak. It would have saved me some trouble and Freon here. So I'll probably just go ahead and do a leak check on them from now on. Lesson from this is if you see a guy on day one not hanging something level or using the wrong fasteners, you can have talks with them, whatever. Several things happen, but this is a nightmare, and it's part of owning your own business, I suppose. But we're left holding the bag, and we're gonna have to fix this. So what should have been a pretty quick install and a container already done has left us here with a bigger problem. So I'm open to suggestions on how to fix that line, or if you guys think a flare tool is going to fit in there, or what you think we're going to have to do. So thanks for watching.